Congratulations, grad. You've officially traded in your backpack for a briefcase, or, let's be honest, probably a laptop bag. Now comes the real adventure, managing your own money. Don't worry. You don't need a degree in finance to build a solid foundation. You just need a few good habits, a little patience, and maybe a spreadsheet or two. Let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. Budgeting. Think of a budget as your financial GPS. Without it, you might end up lost somewhere between, where did all my money go? And, can I pay rent with ramen noodles? Start by tracking what comes in, your income, and what goes out, your expenses. There are plenty of free apps that make this easy, or you can go old school with a notebook. The key is to be honest. If you're spending $40 a week on coffee, don't pretend you're only spending $10. Your bank account knows the truth. Next up, understanding your paycheck. That first real-world paycheck can be a shocker. You might see a big number on your offer letter, but by the time taxes, Social Security, and other deductions take their cut, it's more like a magic trick. Now you see it, now you don't. Take a few minutes to read your pay stub so you know where your money's actually going. This will help you plan better and spot any mistakes. Because yes, payroll errors do happen. Now let's talk about your emergency fund. Life is full of surprises. Flat tires, dental bills, or your phone deciding to take a swim. Having a cash cushion that you don't touch until you need it means these surprises don't turn into financial disasters. Aim for $1,000 to start. That might sound like a lot, but if you save $20 a week, you'll get there in less than a year. Pro tip: set up automatic transfers so you don't even have to think about it. Out of sight, out of mind, and into your savings. Another golden rule: live below your means. It's tempting to celebrate your new job with fancy dinners and the latest gadgets. But remember, just because you can afford something doesn't mean you should buy it. The goal is to have your money work for you, not the other way around. If you can keep your expenses lower than your income, you'll always have options, and options are freedom. Finally, watch out for lifestyle inflation. As your income grows, it's easy to let your spending grow right along with it. Instead, try to pay yourself first by increasing your savings or investments whenever you get a raise. Your future self will be very grateful. Building your financial foundation isn't about being perfect. It's about making small, smart choices that add up over time. So grab your coffee, maybe just one. Open up that budgeting app and take the first step. You've already graduated once. Now you're ready to graduate to financial adulthood. Welcome to the not-so-fun part of adulting, dealing with debt. If you're like most graduates, you're probably carrying some student loans, maybe eyeing a car loan, and wondering if that credit card offer in your mailbox is a gift or a trap. Spoiler alert, it's usually a trap. But don't panic. With the right strategies, you can tackle debt like a pro and build credit that'll make future you very happy. Let's start with student loans, because they're probably your biggest financial roommate right now. The good news? You have options. If you have federal loans, look into income-driven repayment plans that can lower your monthly payments based on what you're actually earning, not what your parents hoped you'd be earning by now. Don't just go with the standard 10-year plan if it's crushing your budget. There's no prize for financial suffering, but here's the most important rule. Never miss a payment, no matter how small it might be. Missing even one payment can trigger late fees, damage your credit score, and start a cascade of financial problems that can follow you for years. Now, if you have multiple debts, you need a game plan. Enter the debt snowball versus debt avalanche debate. The snowball method means paying minimums on everything while throwing extra cash at your smallest debt first. It's psychologically satisfying, like crossing items off a to-do list, and builds momentum. The avalanche method targets your highest interest rate debt first, which saves you more money mathematically. Choose the one you'll actually stick with. A good plan you follow beats a perfect plan you abandon. Let's talk credit scores. Those magical 3-digit numbers that somehow determine whether you can rent an apartment or get a decent car loan. Your credit score is basically your financial report card, and it's based on 5 factors: payment history, 35%, amounts owed, 30%, length of credit history, 15%, new credit, 10%, and types of credit, 10%. The most important thing? Pay your bills on time, every time. Set up automatic payments if you have to. Late payments are like stepping on a Lego barefoot. Painful and completely avoidable. Credit cards can be your friend or your worst enemy, depending on how you use them. The golden rule: only charge what you can pay off in full each month. Think of credit cards as a convenient payment method, not a loan. If you're using them to buy groceries because you're out of cash, that's a big red flag. In fact, you should start to reconsider some life choices at that point. Start with one card, use it for small purchases, and pay it off religiously. Finally, let's talk about avoiding debt traps. Those buy now, pay later offers might seem harmless, but they add up fast. Store credit cards with their sky-high interest rates? Usually not worth the 10% discount. And please, for the love of compound interest, don't take cash advances on your credit cards unless it's a true emergency. Building good credit and managing debt isn't rocket science, but it does take discipline. Think of it like going to the gym. The results aren't immediate, but stick with it, and you'll be financially fit before you know it. Your future self will thank you when you're getting approved for that dream apartment or scoring a great rate on your first home loan. All right, grad, time for the fun part. We've covered budgeting basics and taming your debt, so now let's talk about making your money work harder than you do. Welcome to the world of investing, where even small amounts can grow into something pretty impressive over time. Think of it as planting seeds that'll grow into money trees. Except these trees are way more reliable than the houseplant you definitely forgot to water last week. First, let's talk about compound interest. Einstein allegedly called it the 8th wonder of the world, and honestly, he wasn't wrong. Compound interest is when your money earns money, and then that money earns money, and so on. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, except instead of snow, it's cash. The magic ingredient? Time. Start investing $50 a month at 22, and by retirement, you could have more than someone who starts investing $200 a month at 35. Math is beautiful sometimes. Your first stop should be your employer's 401k, especially if they offer matching contributions. This is literally free money. If your company matches up to 3% and you don't contribute, you're essentially giving yourself a pay cut. It's like turning down a bonus, because the paperwork seems complicated. Don't be that person. Contribute at least enough to get the full match, even if you have to eat ramen for a month. Future you will thank you from your yacht, or modest retirement home. Either way, you'll be grateful. If your employer doesn't offer a 401k, or you want to save more, look into an IRA, individual retirement account. There are 2 main types. Traditional, you get a tax break now, pay taxes later. And Roth, you pay taxes now, withdraw tax-free later. For most young people, Roth is usually the way to go since you're probably in a lower tax bracket now than you will be later. It's like buying tax-free status while it's on sale. Now, what should you actually invest in? First off, remember, we don't give personal financial advice here, but we can walk you through some popular options and how people approach them. For beginners, index funds are often considered a solid starting point. They're like buying a tiny piece of hundreds or even thousands of companies all at once, which spreads out your risk. Instead of trying to pick the next big winner, you're basically betting on the entire economy. And historically, that's been a pretty good bet. Think of it as ordering the sampler platter at a restaurant, instead of putting all your hopes and dollars on one questionable-looking appetizer. Of course, some investors like to own shares in individual companies they believe in. Big names like Tesla and Nvidia have delivered huge returns for early investors, but picking individual stocks can be risky. Today's superstar can become tomorrow's cautionary tale. If you go this route, perhaps keep it to a small portion of your portfolio and make sure you're comfortable with the ups and downs. Another option that's become increasingly popular is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is known as hard money because, unlike dollars, there's a fixed supply. Only 21 million will ever exist. Some people see Bitcoin as a way to hedge against inflation or as a digital store of value, kind of like gold for the internet age. But it's important to know that Bitcoin can be extremely volatile, with big price swings in both directions. If you're considering it, Bitcoiners will tell you to start with reading the Bitcoin white paper and then move to doing 100 hours of research. No matter what you choose, the most important thing is to do your homework, diversify, and invest for the long term. Be sure to automate your contributions and resist the urge to check your account every time the market makes headlines. Remember, investing isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about building wealth steadily, so you can enjoy the freedom and options that come with it down the road. Finally, set some goals. Maybe it's saving for a house down payment in 5 years, paying off your student loans early, or just building a solid retirement nest egg. Having specific targets makes it easier to stay motivated when that new gadget or weekend trip is calling your name. Break your big goals into smaller milestones, like saving your first $1,000, then $5,000, and so on, so you can celebrate progress along the way. Writing your goals down and checking in on them every few months can help you stay focused and adjust your plan as life changes. Remember, your goals are your roadmap, guiding your financial decisions and helping you build the future you want. So as you step out into the world, remember, building your financial future isn't about being perfect or getting rich overnight. It's about making steady, smart choices that add up over time. Whether you're budgeting, tackling debt, or starting to invest, every small step you take now sets the stage for bigger opportunities ahead. Stay curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to ask questions along the way. You've already conquered graduation. Now put that knowledge to good use and start down the path to financial independence.